you can marry your siblings, I think. Okay, actually, don't quote me on that. I'm not actually sure.
That's definitely going in the intro.
Don't quote me on that one.
All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. And I doubt any ladies out there listen to this, but if you are, hey, this is Shitposting with the Lads, episode 2. I'm your host for this episode, Skylar. Once again, I'm joined by Michael and Tiger.
Hello.
Hey guys.
So, how you been?
Pretty good. So I think we're going to start off the episode with one good thing, one bad thing that happened this last week.
Yep.
Yeah, and then, well, before that, a quick note that this is the second time recording episode 2 because our audio got fucked up last time, and so that episode is basically unusable. We may salvage it at some point from sort of bloopers, or we might just release it for the meme, or all three of us like talking over each other. But yeah, that's why we had to redo that.
The content is different, though, I have to say.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Full disclaimer, content is different. Yeah. Giving you new content, boys and girls. All right. Michael, you want to start us off then? One good thing, one bad thing?
Okay, so I guess if we're talking one good thing, one bad thing, the good thing this week, well, I've made a lot of progress on some of my personal projects, most notably the game that I've been working on, which I'll showcase a little bit later. And you guys may notice that we have like a little bit of a different, overlay or whatever. I don't know how to call it, like picture, video feed. And in that, I'll be also showcasing what, like, you can see what the progress is on the game. I couldn't get everything working for today, but just a few bugs. And then the bad thing, well, earlier this week, I got hacked out in Pokemon, or basically fucked by RNG, if you aren't familiar with the terminology. And that sucked us, so. Not really too significant of a bad thing, but it is what it is.
So am I getting this right? You lost in a tournament or something?
Yeah. It was like not technically not a huge
unlucky
tournament
thing.
Yeah. It was because of RNG, basically.
Damn, unlucky.
Unlucky indeed.
All right, Tiger.
Me, okay. So let's start with the good thing. So I guess it's not like that good of a thing, but when I was doing vocal exercise earlier this week, I was able to hit like a G4, like not perfectly, but like maybe like 75% there. And then that's not like that big of an achievement, but it's pretty difficult for me. So that's probably the good thing. For
those of us who are not very musically inclined, can you explain what hitting a G4 means?
So it's a note, which is like, it's this note. G4 should be this one, yeah. And then hitting that in like a full, like chesty noise or sound voice. Other than that, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just singing the note. Either way. And then the bad thing is learning that I have to do online lessons for the next semester.
Rest.
So that's going to be a thing now.
We're going to talk about online learning and all that. You know, Harvard's still charging like $50,000 for completely online classes, and the administration's new rules on international students. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But for me, nothing really bad. I think, that's on our agenda. Nothing really bad happened to me. I can't particularly complain about anything. The best thing that probably happened was I got a new mattress. So my old mattress sucked ass, and like I would just get like crazy back pain when I slept on it. And so I realized that I need like really hard mattresses. So like the past 2 nights I slept just literally on like hardwood floors, and I just felt way better than if I actually slept in my bed, which was super weird, but also like I don't know if you guys have ever had like bad back pain, but you're literally like disabled. You can't I couldn't stand up for more than like 10 minutes at a time. I had to I used my Kendo Shinai as basically like a walking stick to get around, and I basically like just laid in bed all the time, and it was horrible.
What the fuck?
But I finally feel better, and I have like a new mattress that's like way firmer. We went to IKEA today, and so hopefully that's the end of my back troubles.
Dude, you're too young to be having fucking back troubles. What the hell, dude?
I know. I
Wait.
need to see like a neurosurgeon or something.
Is your new mattress like really soft or like not that soft?
No,
Like,
it's
really
like super hard, actually.
Yeah, it should be
So-
hard, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
And then so like I was feeling really good, and then last night I like stood up to stretch, and then like it felt like a part of my spine like disconnected, and I had this like
What the
searing
fuck?
pain in my back, and I just immediately fell to my knees. Like it was like as if like fucking Jesus Christ had appeared before me. It was like just kneel.
What the fuck?
And I
You
just
should.
I like I've never
You should,
experienced such like a singular moment of pain, and I just doubled over. I almost passed out. Actually, it was like my vision got like blurry, and I just had to like just kneel on the ground for like.
So
a
is this your
solid
good
5
thing or your
minutes.
bad thing? Like, what the fuck?
No.
you should-
This is the good thing is that that's not happening anymore, right? Like I'm finally
Okay.
fucking getting over this. And yeah, I don't know. I really hope this new mattress solves the issue. If not, I'm just gonna go back to sleeping on the floor, which I don't know. That's helping me. I just like fucking human physiology is weird. It's just like you sleep on something soft and you're just, at least for me, I'm just completely useless. Like I can't do a single thing. Like I can't
No, it's because-
bend over
No, it's
to
because
wash my hands in the sink. Like that's too much effort for me.
I was gonna say it's bad for your back if it's too soft because for both of us, our like butts will like sink in too much. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the back is bent.
Yeah, and so like
Yeah.
I would have like the kind of I would have the kind of like sharp pain, but also I like just clusters of muscles in my back would be sore. So
Right. That's why
Yeah.
you can't really do soft beds because
Oh
like
my God,
you're like
it's-
your waist like sinks in and then your back is bent. But I think you should try physical therapy. It's like you don't have. I mean, it's better if you see like an actual one. But like if you don't want to, there are like YouTube channels online that teaches you how to do it. And then it
I've been
should
doing
help.
like yoga stretches and stuff to try and help with
Right.
it. And I mean, for the past few days, it's gotten a lot better. I really think this new mattress is gonna save me. Just like please, fingers crossed. I don't want to deal with this anymore. But we spent way too much time on this. Do you guys want to talk about online classes and stuff first, or the new anime season? Michael?
Okay. Actually, I do kind of want to talk about God of High School because I would.
Okay.
Actually, there's two shows that have aired so far there's been a few more, but the two that I've watched so far are God of High School and ReZero. ReZero season 2. I watched the first episode this morning. It was really good. I don't want to go into any spoilers, but it was really good. God of High School, though, I was pretty disappointed, if I'm honest, with the first
Did
episode.
you read the manhwa beforehand?
No. I haven't touched anything with the material, but I heard really good things about it. And it's supposed to be, like, people were saying that it was better than Tower of God, basically. And
Really?
yeah, that's what I heard. They were saying that they were more excited for God of High School. And Tower of God was, like, kind of like good, but like not the best of manhwa, and they said like God of High School was basically the best that manhwa had to offer. And I after watching episode 1, I would say that if I didn't hear anything about the show beforehand, I would have dropped it after episode 1. But I'm gonna keep watching it for at least a few more. But we'll see.
I have yet to give either of those two shows a shot. I probably will, because I'm reading the description, and I think this guy's a Taekwondo specialist, and I do Taekwondo, so I kind of want to see that. And ReZero was just like, when did it come out? Like 2016? It's probably like one of the best anime of 2016. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
it was probably the best.
it's been a while, but they're finally back. I have no idea why it took so long. But I haven't seen anything. I might have to like watch one of the recap episodes or something. Didn't they release like a recap movie or recap episode? or
No,
something?
what they did was they did a director's cut of it's like a 12. Basically, they shortened, kind of shortened. It's like mostly the same season. They just touched it up a little bit, or the same anime. They touched it up a little bit, like I believe it was 2 seasons ago, because it was like supposed to be basically a rerun of it before the actual anime released.
Mm.
I watched that with my roommate, so like before basically the ReZero season 2 came out, so I'm like pretty fresh on everything that happened.
Okay, but speaking of catching up on stuff, I might have to like go read some plot summaries for Oigaru season 3 as well, which is going to start airing the 10th. It looks like, so a few days left for that. I'm excited. I really enjoyed the series back in the day. I mean, obviously, your adolescent years you change a lot, so I might just watch this and be like, "What the fuck is this edgy nonsense?" But I remember really liking it.
I think it's like a show. Well, I remember really liking it, but I also think it's a show that like I would still enjoy now because like the things that appeal about that show aren't really just like, you know, boobs or whatever. Like that's not like the core appeal of the show, if you know what I mean.
Not only boobs.
Okay, well, I just mean like it's a lot about like Hachiman and that kind of stuff.
And this like, merry band of friends.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm keeping my eye on is I think the second half of I'm not sure if it's supposed to be the final season of SAO, but like the latest season of SAO. I actually like I think SAO gets way too much hate. I'm one of those people. I think I was like 14 when I first watched like the first season or something. I remember liking it. And I've just kind of on and off kind of watched it on the side from now on. But like the new season, they basically just put Kirito in a coma and like focused on more interesting characters. So and I'm excited to kind of see him come back and, you know, blow everybody's minds by holding 2 swords, one in each hand. Like, oh my god, right?
Tiger, have you watched SAO? Tiger, have you watched SAO?
Tiger, are you alive?
Yeah. So I've seen SAO season 1. So like the original game arc and then the elf one.
Okay.
And that's
Do you like it?
That's the only thing I've seen. Yeah, I actually did.
Okay.
But that was a long time ago. I feel like if I were to watch it as if I haven't seen it in the past, I probably wouldn't like it now. Because it's like, I feel like it's one of those shows where it's like very like teen, you know.
Okay. Like when I first watched SAO,
like if I were to watch, sorry.
Okay. You can go.
No, I was going to say, if I were to watch like Fairy Tail now, I'll probably just cringe way too much. And I just won't go to finish it. Yeah, exactly. So...
For SAO, like for me, like I think when I first watched it, that was like before I really started watching a lot of anime, and I enjoyed it at the time, but like looking back at that time, like if I just hadn't watched, or like when I compare it to some of the other anime within the isekai genre, I would say that it's just doesn't like, it's not as good as some of the other ones that have aired since then. Sure. And so like I would say it's just like an average show that's a good show for beginners to anime to watch because it's popular and it's a talking point with other people, but I wouldn't recommend it like in my good conscience, I guess. Like I would say that there's other shows
I think it really depends on the age of the person. Like if I'm talking to one of my cousins who's like, you know, about to enter their teens or like maybe in like, you know, their mid 15, 16-ish, I feel comfortable recommending it to them because that's around the age when I saw it and I enjoyed it then. But, you know, if like one of my college friends came to me and was like, oh, what anime should I watch? I definitely wouldn't be like, oh yeah, SAO. Let me just push that onto you. But I'll watch it regardless, just I think kind of for the nostalgia factor. And because I low-key kind of grew up with SAO a little bit. So, I owe the show that much. And it hasn't been like bad enough for me to just be like, wow, fuck this, and I dropped it and dropped it. So, well, that's enough anime talk for now, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. We can move on to
We can move on to fall 2020. So all of us are college students, or actually, Tiger's going to be going into college after his time in the military, and it looks like it's going to be at least partially or completely online for all of us. So
so I can speak on technically revealing whatever, but like UCSD, what was going to happen was it was already going to be like about 80 to 90% online. But we haven't revealed, or like there hasn't been an official statement yet saying that's 100% online. But I don't know if they will or won't. I assume that considering everything that's going on, it probably will just move to everything online. everything is still going to be full tuition though, because they're bleeding money like nobody's business right now. So
yeah, everybody's bleeding money.
Yeah.
My university has sent out an email basically saying they're going to be doing like a hybrid style, and without explicitly saying what that means. So apparently our schedules are supposed to be finalized August 1st, after which we see like how our schedules get fucked. Like I think they're going to like basically chop up the lecture sections. So like instead of like 200 people lectures, it might be like 50 people, and then it's going to be like an hour or so in between.
I think he just unplugged his mic. Well, okay.
Ah, shit. I unplugged my mic, but fuck. Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, I'll just interject real quick, and that basically, like, our system is going to be, like, they already knew that we were going to have issues with coming back to campus right away in fall quarter, so they basically restricted, like, this was already, like, decided a couple months ago, that all the classes are, at maximum, going to have 50 people in each of the lectures. And generally, they tend to go below that. So any lecture that would normally require more than 50 people at the lecture, so like a basic biology 1 or whatever, those classes are all going to be held online, because those are also the easiest classes to hold online. And then basically any class that doesn't require you to be on campus, like physically, because of like labs or whatever kind of material that you need to be on campus for, are going to be held remote. So that's like much better than like, I don't know what's Skylar's college is going through, but it seems
sounds relatively similar in that they're going to try and reduce like basically I mean, I'm past like the intro level courses, so I mean, I don't know the course sizes of my courses off the top of my head, but I can't imagine them being that big. At most, they might get chopped into 1 or 2 sections. I'm more worried about like activities on campus, because I'm involved in a number of clubs, and I really would hate to see like our activities just canceled for a semester or even a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Tiger.
Well, for me, my university actually, all of the classes are going to be in person. So the issue for me is I can't get a visa. But now thinking back, we're not thinking back, but like in retrospect, because now it's confirmed that I can't really get a visa, so it doesn't really matter if it's in person or online now for me. But if somebody were to get sick, let's say like a month in, I feel like they're probably just going to shut it down and then have to fly all the way back here, which is going to be pretty stupid.
Yeah, that sucks.
So like in retrospect, I probably should just stay here and then do online lessons anyways.
Wait, so if everything is going to be in person, does that like mean that you're fucked, or like it is like?
No, I thought that's good for you because
it's in person and online. Like if you can be there, or if you're willing to be there, you can be like in person. But if you don't want to go, there are going to be online lessons.
Okay, so
it's like the same classes, but except you're like in your room and not in the classroom.
Yeah. I mean, I did online classes last term. I assume Skylar probably did too.
Yeah, like halfway through my spring semester, basically.
Yeah. For us, it was
shit got gutted, dude. I had this one class, and like all the labs just basically just gone. He just gave us full credit for them, and I'm like, okay.
Shit.
So we basically got like 15% of the grade for like nothing.
Nice.
Which, I mean, because that class was so heavily lab-based that I really feel like it just... man, I'm seriously considering might even like taking that class again, just because like I really didn't get much out of it in the form that we ended up having to take it in.
Oh, that sucks.
But what do you guys make of the full tuition kind of fiasco that's going around?
I think it's kind of BS, right? I think, but then they have all the bargaining chips. We can't be like, well, we're not gonna,
Well, I don't think it's a huge
actually,
deal.
I know people who are saying like, if it's significantly online, they may like simply take a semester off.
Yeah, I know
think
people who are like that too.
That's a good one. That's actually not a bad idea in my opinion. But yeah,
the thing is, I don't know what I would do instead. I mean, like,
yeah,
there are smaller side projects I could do, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. It would have to be really bad for me to consider just taking time off like that, because that means you extend your graduation date and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So for me, like I personally feel like I had online classes last term, and because I started with online classes, like like everything was set up to be like that. So with that in mind, like I didn't really have any issues in terms of the academic portion. I think like I learned basically everything, like with the exception of the lab class, which is because like the online format didn't like fit it at all. But like with the exception of that, like all the actual learning stuff, like I think I learned about as much as I would have on campus. But like the only thing is that the social aspect and like the clubs and everything was like the biggest attractor for me. I mean, I bet Skylar probably feels similar to me in that sense.
exactly. Michael can't get laid, and it's just a real downer for everyone.
Of course. Anyway, so I personally, like, unfortunately, it is the situation because like everyone is like going to be basically bleeding money right now, and like I don't mind paying full tuition to UCSD anyway because like it's not as much money as like a private school. And I'm paying in-state
Oh
tuition.
shit! You pay that in-state tuition, dude. I pay out of state. God damn it,
full
dude.
tuition for me is about like 15, or okay, it would be about 4,000 per quarter or something like that, 4,500 per quarter. So if you extend that to a year, it's about like 14,000. And that's because like the average cost would be about 30,000 a year because of dining and stuff, but because like you're not like paying for that if you're remote, then that part doesn't really matter to us. And like the reason I don't mind that is because like UCSD still has to pay kind of their employees, and that's why they have to have full tuition, because otherwise they're already going into the red pretty heavily. But I'm okay with that personally. Probably say personally like 6 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of get it from the university's perspective. At the same time, like I would rather they just kind of dismantle certain things and then just drop the cost of tuition a little bit. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just somebody's gonna have to take the hit here, and I obviously would rather it not be the students, being us already having to take out loans and stuff to pay for college and stuff. But from our perspective, this like going to college is still cheaper than boarding school, right? So, like,
yeah. From our perspective, it's different, but like, I think ultimately it sucks because I mean, like, this is like an unprecedented thing, right? COVID is like, nobody's like a real winner during COVID because like, everyone, like, this is just like an economic crisis for like almost every industry, and universities are no different. And unfortunately, it does trickle down a little bit to the students as well, but not much we can do about it, I think.
Once again, unlucky. I think that'll be the theme for today's podcast and the year as a whole. I'm just simply unlucky.
2020 unlucky.
Yeah. All right, Malcolm, you want to talk to us about your game?
Okay. Tiger, are you here? You're like being a little quiet.
Yeah. No, I'm here. Yeah.
All right, let me turn on screen share real quick. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep, I can see your screen.
Okay, so here's the progress of the game so far. So you'll see, I'll just go ahead and play, and then, so currently it's a little bit bugged because like there's no walls and shit. So
oh my god,
just,
you
like,
move around
through.
so quickly.
But yeah, this is it. Oh shit, what the fuck happened?
Wait, play that again?
Wait,
so
they move around so quickly. Like more so than what you would expect in like a video game.
No,
yeah,
I feel like it's about par.
Yeah,
I mean,
what the fuck?
I'm assuming these are like mob characters that die in one hit, right?
They're goblins, so I can like they can swing at me, and I take damage. I can swing at them.
Is that your health bar on top?
Yeah.
You lost a lot of health there.
Yeah. Fucking bad. So, that's basically like all we have right now. Well, okay, I guess I should say what we have right now is like, so I can walk around. There's the enemies. They attack when they get within a certain range. They'll just follow me around.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. When I have lower HP,
Yeah.
I actually move slower. So this is like just a game
Oh,
mechanic.
okay.
So
Oh,
now they're
wow,
faster
that's
than me.
pretty cool.
I can't die right
Okay,
now,
that's pretty
but
cool.
like yeah. And then I can
More
attack.
challenge?
So
I'm curious. So it feels like so I know they're not because it's probably just like it's because you're moving sideways, but it feels like they're like accelerating. Do you know what I'm saying?
oh no, they're not. It might be like kind of a visual bug because of like Discord screen sharing and stuff, but yeah. So like they'll attack basically when okay. I think like it may be like kind of a visual
people
thing
should-
because they
No, it's because
because
you're
of lag.
turning, and then
Ah,
no,
okay,
it's because
because they're like
no, I think
tracking
it's
you
because-
perfectly.
Right, exactly. They're
Yeah,
tracking
they
you
are.
perfectly while you're not walking optimally, right? Because
Yeah.
you're like making turns and stuff, but they're like, they're tracking you really well. So it feels like they're
Exactly.
accelerating.
So the AI on this is like very simple. They just always follow you, and then once they get within range, they'll just always attack you. Basically, it's very simple AI.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so
I feel like you could play around with that to definitely give like the different enemy types like a different feel, right? Like if
yeah,
I don't know, let's say like a swarm of insects or something is just like tracking you perfectly. I feel like that makes kind of sense. Whereas like an enemy with like a limited field of vision could probably have more lag.
it's a little yeah.
Will the game have like item upgrades and shit?
Yeah,
Or,
so
like-
this is a roguelike, right? So
Right.
it'll have like, so the thing we're planning on right now is it's not 100% set, but there'll be a sword or like basically weapons, and then there'll be armor, and then there'll be like artifacts, and the artifacts will change like ways that you play the game. So it can be like increasing your movement speed, or it could be like giving you an extra skill slot. So right now, the only way that you can attack that's been implemented is that you can just attack, and it's the J button right now. So what that means is also that you can only attack in the way that you're facing. So if I'm facing like up, then I can't attack down. It'll like if I press attack, it'll only like attack up.
Oh, okay, I see. That's cool.
So
Are there spells?
Yeah, there will be spells, but not yet. So
Okay.
the plan is probably to have like 3 spells maybe.
Okay.
And I think 3 spells, and then like maybe 1 consumable item, and then the normal attack. And then each class will only have like, or they'll have their own weapon type. So the knight has the sword, and then eventually there'll be a mage and a rogue and a hunter.
I see.
And they'll all have their own weapons and way of playing the game. So you can see they're beating me up. So the enemies all have hit stun. So like when I hit them, they'll flash, and then like during that hit stun animation, they can't do anything. It's not very long.
Okay, so you basically have to practice the kiting.
Yeah. So it's like
How to
pretty
kite
difficult to
properly.
kite, honestly. Like here, like my friend who was like actually playing the game a little bit more can probably do it a lot better than me. But okay, you can see the walls are like not there right now, but normally there's walls. But like
I think there's something. Do you run faster when you're going
diagonal, yeah,
Because
it's a little bit faster diagonal. Actually,
shouldn't
it's
you
pretty
program it
significant.
so then it's like the same? Because
So the reason it's like this right now is because
right, I know. Because like up
it
down
takes-
button is programmed to like a
Yeah,
specific flat number.
Yeah. We could probably fix this, but we just discovered it like today. So
Right.
yeah. I don't know if it's that huge of a deal, but we'll see. And normally, like if everything was working correctly, then like the room transition would be here. So okay, like basically imagine the reason it's not working is because there's like some issue with the tile map and stuff in background. So but normally what would happen is like the room transition is here. So like this would basically be me going into the next room. And then like I actually do go into the next room. But like
I see.
for some reason everything is like, broken. So
I see.
there's
I
no
see.
the walls and floor are just like not there. But the room transition is still there, so I can move between rooms.
Gotcha.
Is each room going to be the procedurally generated part then?
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
we don't know exactly how much of it we're randomizing, but it's either going to be like a preset amount of like a preset of rooms, and within those like you basically randomly choose a room for each of those from one of those presets, or the other option is that it's going to be completely random. But we'll see.
Have you played around with the idea of like tile sets? Like I played Warframe a little bit, and they have different rooms. So the rooms are static, but the combination of rooms are different, and that's the procedurally generated part.
Wait, what do you mean?
So like if you think of each room as like a cell, the cells are pre-made and predefined, but the way that they're connected with other cells of different types is different, and that's the procedurally generated part, not the room itself.
Okay.
You know,
yeah. So,
you know
so you're
I mean?
saying like having preset rooms. Like, yeah. So that was what I was talking about. One of the possible ways of implementing it is that we basically have like say 30 preset rooms, and then those like each room from like within the dungeon will be picked up from within that preset, and then like they'll kind of be a little bit more random with like which rooms are which. Basically, like you don't know which room, but like it'll be like one of the preset ones, if you know what I mean.
No. Okay.
That's one thing that we're considering, because that one is slightly easier, but if we can get like a more random one, then it might be a little bit better.
Exciting stuff. Wait, and how long did this take you?
So far, I think we've been working for about 2-ish weeks, not every day, but like maybe like 80% of the days or something. So the stuff like this, the animations, that I made all of these animations, but like I did this on my own time. But like all this, the programming part where, you know, like implementing the attack and moving and all of this other stuff was like done together. But yeah, took about 2 weeks ish,
Nice.
2 to 3 weeks.
All right. Anything else to add to that? Either Tiger or Michael?
Okay, yeah. So have you thought about like level design yet? So like bosses, you know, stuff like that.
I haven't thought too much about the. Okay, let's stop streaming. I haven't thought too much about like the exact bosses yet. I have like a general idea of where I want like everything to go, but I've only really thought about like enemies and like you know, player skills and that kind of stuff, like gameplay aspects. If you have any suggestions, I'll take them.
Make me a boss.
Oh my god, that's actually a really good idea.
Probably not going to happen, but I
Dude,
can name.
Near Automata, I think one of the secret bosses is like one of the executives.
You can have a
He's-
fat
he's
tiger boss.
I can name the
think
boss.
Skylar is cutting out.
Oh, is he?
Mine?
Did you unplug your mic again?
No, not this time.
Sound different now.
Shit. Wait. Oh, how about now? How about now? Better?
Okay, yeah, better.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I mean, like, what I can do is I can like make, you know, like one of the floors like the orc boss or whatever, and then name it Skylar.
Wow. Why do I have to be the fucking orc, dude?
I mean, you're a boss, right?
Make me like the flying mecha dragon boss or something.
What the fuck?
I mean, it kind of fits Skylar, right? If it's a flying dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know what the design of like the
Dude,
lower
what's
floors
that,
are going to be, but
The dragon thing that like attacks Samus, just kind of rip off that.
Ridley.
Yeah. Make me Ridley.
I don't know what the design of the later bosses are, but I'm not 100% sure if there's going to be a dragon in the game. I don't know. Maybe as
can
the
have
final
his,
boss.
like-
Who knows?
You can make it like a dragon, and then like in a previous battle, he's damaged his wing, so like he only like walks around or something.
We'll see.
If flying is the hard part to implement.
Well, I'm just
You can,
thinking because like the it's going to be like high fantasy stuff. So if there is a dragon, I feel like it would probably have to be like the final boss. Just
Dude, I get to be the final boss.
you get to be the final boss. Hey, no promises, okay?
you had to spell his name wrong though, like with an A.
Yeah,
so
spell it with an AR and then spell it with like
6 R's or something.
SQUYLAR.
Oh my God.
Or something. Yeah.
Okay. No promises.
Okay. I don't know why I put this in here. I think in the moment I just want to talk about it. Before it becomes like not relevant anymore, the domestic Kanojo ending in the manga.
Okay. I mean, we can talk about it. So spoiler warning, spoiler warning. If you are, for some reason, not caught up with domestic Kanojo and want to be,
it's over. It's over, lads. It's over. Shit's over, dude.
Okay, so domestic Kanojo was good. I overall the experience was good. Is how I would say how I'd first describe it. I would say the ending was really fucking garbage, though.
Yeah, yes. I really wish the author would commit to one of the either sides, like this flip-floppity type thing. Really just kind of makes Natsuo come up as an asshole. And I simply don't buy their reason for the last minute switch. I simply don't
get why. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So, I mean, like, Giga has a great video on this, but yeah, I actually really felt for the characters. Like, there were legitimately times where I finished chapters and I kind of just sit on my chair and like my chest would actually hurt because I like felt bad for these people, like these fake people ink drawings on a screen, and like I legitimately felt bad, and I was like, damn, that really sucks. What was it? Coke Bay? Was that what Geiko called her? The Coke. I felt really bad for her. I felt bad for that one girl who Natsuo rejected because why again? I forget, but like just she didn't win. Yeah, Serizawa. And
Serizawa made me feel bad. Okay, wait. Let me give some context for Tiger. So basically, what domestic Kanojo is.
You got to describe to like the intro, like how this gets set up.
This sounds like the trashiest shit that you've ever read, or ever heard
great.
of. But
I don't think you've seen Tiger King.
Okay, but here, let me describe this. So the opening part of this series is this guy basically loses his virginity to some random girl that he meets at a mixer.
No, before that, he likes his teacher.
Oh yeah, he likes his teacher. But okay, so he likes his teacher, and then he meets this random girl at a mixer, and they get together, or not like get together. They don't get together. Like, he just fucks her, dude. Yeah. They basically just have sex because they both want to know what it's like to have sex. So
and he's then, like, I'm not gonna get with my teacher anyway. And
the next day,
yeah.
His dad remarries, and guess who his two stepsisters are? That's right, his fucking teacher and the girl he just fucked.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah,
and that's just episode 1, baby.
Yeah, that's episode 1. And then basically it follows this kid through high school and college as he goes across his misadventures, and a lot of it is about the incest between him and either of his stepsisters, and it changes throughout the series. So like it starts with mostly
technically that's not incest, right?
It's legal, yes, but we
okay.
I feel like it's incest, right? Like, I don't know.
It's also like illegal because I think
is that illegal?
Natsuo is underage at that point, and the teacher is like an adult.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, but let's not talk about that.
That's like statutory rape.
Okay. Yeah. But it's like it's legal in the sense that like you can marry your step siblings, in I think. Okay, actually, don't quote me on that. I'm not actually sure.
That's definitely going in the intro.
Don't quote me on that one. So anyway,
100% intro.
That's the intro. Yep.
So anyway, like I think the what I personally think that is okay, other than the fact that it's like a fucking dumpster fire and it's like hilarious or whatever, the idea of it, like I actually think that some of the characters are really well written. I think especially Natsuo, who's the main character. I actually quite like Rui as well. I don't really like the older sister, but he also some of like the side characters that I do really think are well written, especially like
Kajita
Kajita is
the chef partner for Rui who liked her.
yeah, him.
I felt
also,
bad for him too. I was like, damn.
The older author that he works with who ends up passing away.
Oh, that's right.
I don't remember his name, but I really like him, and I also like a lot of his college friends. Like I like the actor friend that he makes, Serizawa, and yeah, like in general, I think a lot of the characters are well written. But like basically, what happened at the end was that so at this point he's with Rui, who is the younger sister, and has been for like. They've been on like
200
kind of,
chapters.
Yeah, they've been in a relationship for a while, like for most of the series at this point. And then just randomly at the end.
No. Even before that, Rui is pregnant and they're going to get married.
Wait, sorry, Rui is pregnant? Which person?
Rui is the younger sister.
The younger sister is the girl he initially lost his virginity to.
So she's pregnant with his kid, and Hina, who's the older sister, has already like given up on like the main character completely, and then just like fucking randomly, everything is hinting towards like, okay, this is going to be the end of the series, and they're gonna have a marriage, and they're going to be together, and like they're saying that they're going to get married and everything, and then just randomly in like the third to last chapter or whatever, like there's just a fucking car crash, and then like. Hina goes into like a coma. The older sister goes into a coma, and then for some reason, Natsuo is just like, "Yeah, we can't get married," and then Rui is just like, "Yeah," and then okay, maybe, and then like Natsuo agrees, like, "Yeah, we can't get married," and then like randomly Rui is just like, "Yeah, you should marry Hina," like the older sister. I was like, "What the fuck?"
And then Natsuo agrees, and then randomly 5-year time skip. And their daughter.
And they have this kid, and the kid is just like okay with like the fact that her dad is just like, I don't know, fucking her. Like, I don't know. I just don't even know.
It's such a mess, dude. Like I don't.
Her dad is her uncle.
Oh man.
Her dad is also her uncle.
Her dad and her step dad and her step uncle, I think.
Yeah, God, it's terrible.
It's oh my god, it is the weirdest. And then like, can we talk about the parents really briefly? Like, I think like they were initially shocked, right? And then they're like, you know what, fine, whatever, kids be kids. And then like, I just want to like, they never show their reaction to Natsuo just pulling the no scope 360, switching sisters like right before the wedding, and then like, oh my god, I just read that and I was like. What the hell, Sasuke?
Everything up until like the last like 10 or 15 chapters was like really good. And then
this is like the closest to like a literary table flip I've ever seen. It's just like everything's out the window.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that though? Like is the author just like trolling, or do you think he's like trying to say something?
Well, first of all, it's a woman, which surprised me.
I mean,
the author's a woman.
Okay. But what do you think?
Does that fact surprise you?
No.
Okay, that surprised me.
That surprised me too.
I don't know, for some reason, I just imagined this insane man just being like, you know what, 3 chapters left, fuck these people, and just like, and just decided to literally like run a car into his series, her series, and just like change everything. It's oh my god. And
wait, so what happened to the?
This hurts so much more because the story was legitimately like enjoyable up to now. It actually made me feel things, which is like hard, right? But
maybe that's what the wait, actually, is it called the writer, the author, the
mangaka,
manga is? The manga is? I don't know.
Mangaka.
Yeah, the mangaka, yeah.
You can just say the author, though. You can just say the author.
The mangaka, okay. Like, do you think she's trying to, like, show you, like, that you can have this perfect thing and then it could just like come to like a crashing halt. Like just
No,
one day.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't
think
know.
she's, like,
I feel like
Okay, I think if
it
you
felt a little
if-
melodramatic, but it never that contrived. And this felt super contrived. Like she just wanted to inject some sort of like controversial, like some sort of emotional weight into the last few chapters.
Okay, well, I would say that if her goal was to make an unforgettable ending, then yeah, it's fucking unforgettable because it was so fucking bad. But B, if she was trying to go for like if you can have everything in the world and everything will be like can come crashing down, like I think there's like you could have just had the car crash basically, but like not have the happy ending or like quote unquote happy ending.
Literally, yeah. If she had just killed off Hina right there, I feel like that would have been better.
Or she killed off Rui. Like it doesn't even matter to me. Like this was just like the worst ending that you could have picked. Like it would have been out of nowhere if Rui just randomly dies in a car crash or something, and yeah, I would be like, fuck, damn, what the fuck. But like it would have been better than this. Is all I'm gonna say.
Like, because the series felt planned, and if the emotional moments felt earned, even though some of it was slightly melodramatic. But the fact, and then I don't know, it's just because these things take time to build up, and like it just seemed the action seemed inconsistent with the characters that we had known this entire time.
Well, it was like
the fact that
before,
it just happened.
All the emotional moments before were like built up, like really. Like you could see it coming because like a lot of this stuff that was leading up to it was like actually contributing to that emotional climax. But this one was just like completely fucking random.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about like the author side plot who was going to like expose Natsuo and his like underage affair with the teacher.
Whatever.
That went out of the way really quickly. I thought that was going to be like a way bigger issue, and that Natsuo was going to find out and everything. And he was just going to like be public enemy number one. But yeah, no, like that didn't happen, and they just kind of like swiped it away really easily.
By the fucking ending, like.
Yeah, but the last thing I want to talk about for this series is the opening for the anime, because I thought it was really, really good. Michael?
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite anime songs to have come out in recent years.
Definitely it introduced me to the artist Minami, and the opening was Kawaki wa Amaku. And
wait, is this for domestic?
Yeah, domestic Kanojo.
Yeah,
you should. You can hear it or listen to it. I think
OP,
it's really
right?
good.
You're talking about the OP.
The opening.
Yeah.
Is it called like? I can't read the Japanese, but it has two Chinese words, kanji, like mei bo or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that the translated is like don't let it rain.
Wait, it's Minami, right? It's Minami.
Yeah, Minami.
Sorry, I see it.
Minami, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to this.
For a new song, Ame Wamatsu is also really good.
I'll listen to it right now.
Minami's stuff is like pretty good. I wouldn't say that I like any of her other stuff as much as I do this opening, but it's definitely this opening is definitely like really top.
Wait, have you heard her new song? The one that came out like a week or two ago?
No, I haven't. I've listened to some of her other stuff though.
Really good. On par with the opening, in my opinion.
Okay, I'll check it out later. Okay.
But on our path to converting Tiger into a weeb, you said you watched some Kaguya-sama.
I watched 2 episodes of Kaguya-sama on Netflix. Yes.
Oh, how did you like it?
I thought it was. I thought it was. I don't think I'm gonna finish the series.
Oh, really?
Because I don't know. I'm just not that entertained, I guess. Like to me, it felt really like it felt more like a comedy. Like it felt like a lot like a comedy.
What is
more
a comedy?
than like a slice of life?
It is a
You know what
comedy.
I'm saying? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's a rom-com?
Could you relate to any of the characters though?
Honestly, no. It's like
I don't really relate to the characters either, but I think it's funny.
It's very
really. You're not even my boy Ishigami.
I feel like it's really like, it's like really, like made very dramatic. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that's a point.
Yeah, I know. It's like done on purpose. Yeah, and then has like a commentator and stuff. Like it's like, no, and then some of the jokes I felt like got old like in episode 2, like the who won who lost thing. But I get that's kind of a theme of the show.
Yeah,
So that,
I would say that it's like, okay, personally, I actually didn't like season 1 that much, or I should say a lot less than most people did, because I felt like the narrator interjected way more than I would have liked in season 1. And coming from the manga, I didn't really see the narrator as like somebody who was like that big of a presence. But season 2, they like toned it down a lot with the narrator, and the narrator is like not a huge part of the series anymore. Like he's still there, but it's not like as imposing, I would say. And then I enjoyed season 2 a lot more, personally.
I thought the first episode was very well made. I still wasn't that interested in it, because mostly it's not because it was like bad or anything. Just I'm not that into like the core plot, which is like it's like you guys described it, right? It's like two people that like can't confess and stuff. Like personally, I'm not that into that story, but I recognize the first episode is very well made. Especially like the first time they made the jokes, it's pretty funny, I have to say. Yeah, that. And then the second episode, like it took me like twice to finish it.
Damn.
Yeah. I think if I were to watch anime, I would have to watch like less like teen stuff, if you know what I'm saying.
True. There's a lot of I think there's a newer wave of like college age anime and like older people.
There was a show
like,
that
older demographic coming out.
There was a show that my brother was watching. I don't know what it's called, but I can describe it. You might know what I'm talking about.
Michael, we got this.
The first episode, the guy, he like witnesses his, well, he doesn't, but his like mom gets murdered, and then he like goes back in time or something.
Erased.
Yeah.
Okay, that.
I was about to say like, Demon Slayer.
Theme wise, I feel like I can like get into that, like in terms of like,
it was
what
good.
the story is about.
I think Erased
was good.
Kind of hit and miss, but
Erased was really good. Don't listen to him. It was really good.
I would say it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Except for the ending.
I
haven't seen that, but I feel like I can more like stand behind that kind of theme than other
psychological kind of shows.
Well, no, it's like I don't care for like high school like teen love shit,
Yeah, okay. I understand what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
But like you would watch a show if it doesn't have anything to do with like slice of life rom-com or whatever, right? Like if it's like something that's like
okay, so like a lot of my favorite TV shows, just like general like non-anime shows, are usually like they're usually labeled as comedy, but they're not funny. Like they're like almost no jokes in them. I think it's labeled comedy because it's like not a drama and it's like relatively lighthearted, like stuff like BoJack, stuff like Master of None, stuff like that. Where it's like it's labeled as a comedy, but it's not like funny or yeah. And then usually they like the themes are usually like just like life stuff. Like it could be like family to like career to like addiction to like mental health, stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Do you have any suggestions then, Skyler? We have to get him to watch at least one anime.
Right. Yeah.
Addictions.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be about addiction. I'm just saying, like,
well, okay. Have you watched
more mature things?
So okay, the shows that I will always recommend.
Code Geass has a lot of high school stuff in it.
Okay, so you think Code Geass is off, not in the ballpark? There's
because Code Geass is deep for you when you're like in high school watching it. But if
what
you're
about
like
Steins Gate? Have you watched Steins Gate?
No, I haven't seen Steins Gate.
He might get annoyed by like the otakuisms. I could see him seeing like Okabe as super cringe and just.
Well, he is supposed to be cringe though. Like,
I mean, yeah, but it's 12 episodes of cringe before shit goes down.
Okay, so basically, I'll tell you the.
Well, I say that because I originally dropped Steins Gate because it was just taking a while for things to happen.
Unpopular opinion, but I would say. Okay, go ahead.
So I was just basically going to say, like, once things started happening in Steins Gate, that's when like things picked up, and that's when prequel memes. This is where the fun begins. But like those 12 episodes leading up to the where things, like, I mean, it's not a spoiler to say it's there's time travel elements in this show when like legitimate time travel shit starts happening in episode 12.
The only thing that I know about Steins Gate is that it's about time travel.
Yeah, I mean, like they could have cut if it had gone to like 6 episodes, maybe even less than that, before like they tried to hook you with the time travel things. Then maybe, I mean, the first episode was really strong because they teased it what's going to happen later, but then like that isn't revisited for another 11 episodes. And I think in this day and age where people's attention spans are rather short, right? Like the big 3 shonen anime could never happen in this day and age. I don't think like people's attention spans just aren't that long anymore.
But
it doesn't grab you right off the bat.
Wait, what's the big 3? Like One Piece, Naruto?
One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto / Bleach. Like it's like Dragon Ball / Bleach. It depends on who you ask, but it's really big 4, I would say. Like
I definitely would say it's Bleach. Dragon Ball is like kiddier. You know what I mean? Like the or you have to kind of grow up with it.
True.
Bleach was fucking edgy, dude. Actually, Bleach is coming back, but I think that's a separate topic. Like,
well, it was like big 4, really. But
an old school shonen would do in today's anime climate. But
I would say that there's still a market for those people, but like for older anime fans, it definitely isn't the same because like I would say older anime fans in the sense that you've watched more anime. I think the more you watch, like the less patience you have for just like dragging on, basically.
Yeah, but actually, returning to the topic of Tiger's a recommendation for Tiger, what do you think about ReZero? Actually, Michael,
ReZero is
no. He told me this. He showed me this. Right. Oh, this is you like relive another like high school or something.
No, that's real life.
No, there's no high school
life. All right.
Okay. ReZero is basically a series. So it's an isekai. So isekai means like transport to another world. So it's like similar or same genre as SAO, but basically this guy's, so in isekai anime normally you get like a superpower when you get transported to another world, right? So this guy's superpower is that when he dies, he comes back to life at basically like a quote unquote save point. And so like the anime, like he doesn't have anything else that's special about him, but like because of the fact that he knows basically what's going to happen, like he kind of is like more of like a, what do you call it? Like he basically can kind of see the future in a sense, right? But he has to experience
at the price of him dying, though, and it really starts to eat at him.
So
and that's
like
the psychological side of it.
The big sell of the show is about like obviously the characters and stuff, but like the difference between I guess other shows is that it highlights a lot of like the psychological trauma that he goes through. Like because of him dying and like all the stuff that's like changes. And so like that's like I guess the big selling point of ReZero.
Yeah, I'll obviously give that a try. I just searched it up. It's on Netflix, so it'll be very easy for me to just watch it.
Yeah, so I think ReZero and actually Steins Gate has like a very similar kind of feel, especially in the later episodes.
Both are made by White Fox too.
The other one I would potentially recommend is Shinsekai Yori, which is a little bit of like a more off the beaten path show, but I recommend the show a lot.
Yes, actually, yeah. The visual style is a little jank at times, but the psychological part really gets to you, actually. It is one of the animes that like just kind of disturbed me a little bit. I actually thought about it for like a while, and I was like,
I think that show is probably, in my opinion, like the most complete anime. Like from start to finish, it has like very few flaws. And
wait, which one? ReZero?
No, Shinsekai Yori. So in English, it's called From Another World, I believe.
No, I see it. Okay.
From the New World.
From the New World.
The score for that series, it just makes your skin crawl, dude. Like it's just really eerie.
Yeah, it's basically what I would label as a psychological horror. It doesn't have like the jump scares, but it's a lot of.
Well, I don't know if I want to watch horror, but like it's not that I'm against it. It's just like, but yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I see.
Yeah, so the show, like the basic synopsis is that
No, don't tell him too much. Like you kind of have to unravel
I won't tell him too much. So
yourself.
basically, all you don't get very much information, and a lot of the appeal of Shinsekai Yori is that you find out more stuff about the world as you go on. But basically, all you know is that you follow a group of kids. The main character is like this young girl, and it starts off with them being quite young, and they kind of grow up as the series goes on. But like basically, they know very little about the world, and what there's some like eerie stuff that goes on throughout like the very beginning portions, and as they go to kind of investigate about it, some like different stuff happens, and they kind of start discovering more about the world. And it's like a fantasy part, but like a lot of the horror of it comes from like the information that you don't really have, and that
and like your imagination really fills in the blanks for like certain things. You're like, wait, shit, that means this. Does that mean that? Blah blah blah. Actually, another series that came to mind would be Promised Neverland, because I think it has that same kind of kids discovering.
Yeah, but I think this is Shinsekai Yori is much better than Promised Neverland in my opinion.
I haven't seen Promised Neverland. Full disclaimer.
These two shows. The second one, the from the New World, to me sounds more interesting. So I think I'll give that a try first.
You probably like that one then. Yeah.
I would highly recommend it.
Okay.
I call it psychological horror, but I would say that the horror part is not about like jump scares or like gory images or whatever. It's about like it's kind of like your imagination can kind of run wild, I guess, because of like the way like the way it's written and everything is like super expertly done, so that like it conceals just the right amount of information, so that you're like still like you still know what's going on without like, but like you only know how much like the characters know. So
it just brings disturbing concepts to the forefront.
And everything eventually gets explained, and so that's like kind of where the genius comes, because like stone, like nothing that they bring up in the show is without a purpose, is basically what I would say.
Yeah.
Has any one of you guys watched Mad Men, the TV show, like the Western TV show?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, but speaking of making Michael a fucking normie, you watched some Rick and Morty, right?
I actually watched a lot of Rick and Morty. So I watched 12 episodes of Rick and Morty. So
wait, is that the entire first season?
Is that all of season one?
I watched all of season one and one episode of season two. So season one was 11. And
you must have at least enjoyed it then.
Yeah, it was pretty okay. If I were to rate it on my scale of anime, I would probably give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Probably like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, so, I think it's a good show. It's a really good show. I think season 3 falls off, but season 4 is really good. So,
okay. So
just heads up.
I disagree. I feel like season 3 was.
Dude, season 3 is fucking.
Which one is the one with?
Let's pull up.
Ah, shit! I can't talk about like. I don't want to talk about spoilers, but what's the Citadel episode? You know what I'm talking about.
That's season 3. That's last episode of season 3.
Okay,
right?
yeah, then definitely season 3. Yeah, because season 4, I remember the first half being kind of lackluster. It picks up towards the end. Really, the last one or two episodes.
Maybe I'm wrong. It might
actually be season 2. Actually,
is this season 2? It might be season 2.
I don't know, but
I know season 3 is Pickle Rick. So,
I mean that's a one-off.
I think season 3 is the Citadel stuff.
Okay, so there's stuff that I like about Rick and Morty and stuff that I don't like about Rick and Morty. So I would say that the part that I don't like about Rick and Morty is that it really is like an episodic thing. So this is like something kind of similar to like The Simpsons, where there's like
that'll get fixed.
It's a bit more.
It's very much self-contained.
It has, in the earlier seasons, but it becomes more like plot focused.
Okay, so
but not.
Like
it's still more episodic. No,
it's like an anthology series. If you've seen Star Wars: The Clone Wars, it's kind of like that.
It's more. Yeah, it's more. It's still more episodic than South Park, but it's more like plot based than Simpsons.
Okay, so
yeah.
That's like the part that I don't really like about the show.
Oh, actually, no, I think I disagree with that. Actually, no, I think it's more plot based than South Park. Because South Park, season to season, it doesn't really change at all. Like only within the season, the South Park have like a plot. So it's actually more plot based because the plot like carries over the seasons.
But I do think like it's pretty funny. I think that like a little bit of I get that some of the appeal of the show is about like, you know, they're kind of a little awkward and stuff, but the characters aren't like home runs for me. Like I don't love a lot of the characters, but I think the writing is pretty good. And
you want to talk about that in like more detail? Like the main characters, Rick and Morty. Like, what do you think of them?
Okay, so I think Rick is like a 9 out of 10 character. Like I would say he's like very good and he's very interesting. And I get that Morty is like supposed to be like this, but I just don't like that kind of character that's like
I feel like in the first, I feel like if you only watch the first 2 seasons, there's like not a lot of character development. There's like almost none.
For Morty, yeah. He gets he gets better.
Well,
right.
And I'm struggling to think about like what I can and shouldn't tell you kind of thing, but like he becomes more of Rick's equal as the series goes on, right? Like in the first season and a half-ish, it's basically we're Morty, right? Like we see the series through his eyes, and Rick is showing us all this crazy shit, and he's just throwing concepts at us at light speed, right? But as we kind of grow numb to it, and as we kind of expect Rick's god level, you know, inventor skills to kind of save the day, and the mindfuckery, like I don't want to say slows down, but almost becomes expected, and so that even though you're mindfucked, you like deal with it better. It like Morty changes and he becomes I hesitate to say smarter, but like street smarter. You know what I mean? Like he recognizes
that's true.
He recognizes the world a bit better, and he's definitely learning things from Rick, whether or not it's what Rick wants him to learn or not. And like that's never explicitly made clear. Like the show flirts around a lot with the idea of what Rick's true feelings toward his family are.
Yeah, I mean, I have coming into this, like I had like a little bit of knowledge about Rick and Morty, obviously, because like you can't really like keep it like it's not a well kept secret or anything, but like basically, I think a large reason as to why I watched a lot of it was actually because like I was like fucking super sad after I got like I was talking about earlier, I got like fucked by RNG in like a tournament set, and because of that I was just like fucking bummed yesterday, and so I just like was like fuck it, I'm just gonna watch Rick and Morty and just like so I can like not think about that. So it's a little bit more like I would say it's a little bit more of like a mindless entertainment to me than like anime, where I have to like
really
Rick and Morty is very much you don't have to think that much about it, I feel like.
Yeah, no, for me, okay. It depends on what anime I'm watching too, but I was like, the alternative to watching Rick and Morty would have been watching Owari Monogatari. So I was like, I don't want to think that much while I'm watching.
We should talk about the Monogatari series at some point.
Yeah,
there's a lot we can pick out for that.
I'm like close to the end-ish. I'm like, I don't know, 70% of the way through. So, but yeah, like that series, it's like you have to think a lot more when you're like watching it. So this one, it was like a nice, easy, I can just turn on an episode, not really have to think too much. I don't really have to, and I'm normally like, you know, doing something in the background, maybe, well, actually I was like, today I was watching like an episode and then just like preparing some Pokemon for my tournament this weekend at the same time, like on my Switch. And so it's just like that kind of easy to watch show. And I kind of like that because
as long as
anime for me is a lot harder to watch.
Well, I would say like you watch subs, right? Like you're not.
Yeah. Part of that is
you have some culture.
What the fuck?
Well, I'm never mind. Basically, like anime is more for me is like you have to kind of pay attention because you have to like read the subtitles, and that's like an active thing to do. Whereas you can kind of, if it's in English, you kind of like let your mind wander a little bit, which has its benefits, right? Because you can focus more on the actual animation and like what's happening. What I was gonna say though, actually, is as long as you like Rick and Morty's sense of humor, and that like it doesn't bother you, or like when it gets dark, it's not too much for you, and you can laugh at those types of things. I think you'll continue to enjoy the series up until season 4 just wrapped, so up through season 4.
Yeah,
I don't think it gets dark. Does Rick and Morty get dark?
it's like a little bit dark. It's not like.
I mean, if you compare that to like the typical things me and Michael watch, right? Like, Ugu, like right, like slice of life nonsense, right? It's
I watch.
much darker
Okay.
than that.
Compared to like,
Have you guys seen
Slice of Life
BoJack
anime.
Horseman?
No.
No, I've been meaning to actually talk to me about BoJack
It's
Horseman.
probably my favorite show of all time, and then it's like a comedy in the sense like it's like what I was saying earlier. Like they make jokes, but it's not like that funny. But that's not the point. It's not trying.
Are
to
they jokes that make you
laugh.
sad?
No, it doesn't. It's just like part of the thing. It's like the jokes are there to like make it like light-hearted, and then actually I would say the first season it's like not that good, to be honest, because the good part about the show is that it's like light-hearted, but there's a lot of like emotional like sucker punches in the show. But there isn't a lot of that in the first season because the characters are like not really developed. But I would say it's one of those shows where like every season gets better.
All right, I'll try to watch BoJack Horseman then.
Yeah, and then it's about okay. I'll tell you what it's about. It's basically so the main character is a horse. Okay, wait. So first of all, sorry.
right.
The characters they live in a world where like people are like people, and then they can also be like horses or like cats and shit.
My God, imagine the fetishes.
Oh yikes!
Sure, yeah. And then so the main character is like this horse who was like a popular sitcom actor in the '90s, and who is now like, kind of it's like a has been. He's like washed up and shit, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's basically a slice of life show about him, and then he's like he's like alcoholic, and then it deals mostly with his like relationships with his friends and his like family. I would say that's like the main idea of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's definitely like quite a few anime that are like that. Or okay, like
not
that
in
the
my
sense of-
sphere. Like
not quite a few. I should say there are some relatively notable anime that are like that. I mean, like we were talking about yesterday or Utate, Sing Yesterday for Me. That show is like kind of similar to that. In the sense that like it's about like the emotional parts of like moving on and like coming to terms with your like family or really it's like
just
loved ones,
depressing adolescent things.
Or like post-adolescent, I guess, but yeah. Also, like we were talking also about like Welcome to the NHK, but that show is like a little bit more like rough, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it.
I saw it a long time ago, so I'm hesitant to say too much about it. I guess I can talk about like the bits and pieces that I remember and how it made me feel. I felt bad for what was the guy's name? I want to say Satoru.
I don't know.
But,
I have no idea about his name.
It definitely felt very wish fulfillment-y with like a younger girl just appearing in front of your door and saying she's gonna, cure your mental health, right? Like, would that not be the dream, right? For literally every young guy out there. But in that sense, it just, I don't know. I also can't exactly remember how the series ended, and for me, that's a bad thing. Like, I remember the start. I remember the best friend. I remember Yamazaki, and then I don't exactly remember how it ended, which leads me to believe that it didn't end that well, or like at least it wasn't memorable.
I've noticed that Skylar really does value endings in anime. Like I personally will see a series, and I think like I personally don't value endings as much as most people, and I think like I'm more. I would say like I'm more willing to overlook bad things, and I focus more
bad
about like,
endings?
the good things. Not just endings, I guess. Like in general, like I'm more willing to focus on like the good parts. If there are like some parts that are bad and some parts that are good, then I'll
just calling
like,
me a hater.
More. No. But I'm saying like you put a lot of emphasis on whether or not an ending is good, and that influences a lot of your decision on like how good a show is. Like in general, is something I
I mean,
noticed.
I can't disagree with that because that's like true. Like the ending is important to me. But I
Have you
think
seen Game
more
of Thrones?
No, because I think when it first started airing, I was like pretty young, and my parents told me not to, and then so like I just never actually picked it up.
I watched it like later. Like I probably started watching it when season 4 aired, and then I went back and watched 1 through 4.
I watched
Or maybe season 5. Maybe season 5. I don't remember.
I watched the
I
first
may
season
read
in a
the
while
books.
ago, though.
I may read the books because aren't the books like still coming out, and the ending and like the season 8 ending
you
is
read
just dog shit?
Wait, you watched 3 seasons and a half?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
No, I mean Michael.
No, I watched this a season and a half.
A season and a half.
And then I dropped it because I thought it was fucking boring. And one season,
wait, really?
Yeah, I actually didn't really think it was interesting at all. And after that, I should say, it just felt to me like every other fantasy series, and it's like whatever. I didn't really think much of it. And then around the time season 4 was coming out, right before it, I just watched a YouTube video to catch me up on what happened, and it was like, okay. And then I heard spoilers about season 4, or season 4 was the last season, right?
No, 8.
No, 8 is last season.
Season 8.
Yeah. Bro, you missed half the show. What the hell are you
sorry.
smoking?
Then when season 8 was airing, whenever the last season was airing, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking
8. That was 8.
Okay, yeah. Whenever season 8 was airing, because it was pretty recently, 2 years ago or something, a year and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a
and
half
apparently they
ago.
deviated from the books by that point.
Yeah. I think by 7 or 6, they're starting to differentiate, so branch off from the books.
So right as season 8 was airing, I watched a YouTube video that basically summarized all of 1 through 7, and then I was like, I probably didn't miss much. The video itself was entertaining, but that was only because it was 40 minutes or something, which would have been the time it would have taken me to watch one fucking Game of Thrones episode. And then
holy shit, I forget these shows are actually stupid long.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, cool. And then I heard some spoilers about season 8, but I didn't actually watch it.
I'm the type of guy that can still enjoy a series despite knowing spoilers, though.
Yeah, but I had no real interest in Game of Thrones. I was only I don't know. I just it's not a show that interests me. I think it's really. I think it's pretty slow paced. It takes a long time to watch, and a lot of the episode to me feels like filler.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say. I might just go read the books. Because hopefully they'll have a better ending. And I think I have no idea. They might still be ongoing. They might be finished by this point. But I also should get back into reading books. That's just a side note for all that.
Dude, reading books is my attention span has gone down significantly since I was a kid. I used to love reading books. I can't read anything except I can read. The only thing I've really read in the past few years is fucking this light novel. I'm only following one light novel series. It's it's not even good, but that's the only thing I read nowadays.
I only read textbooks now, physical books wise.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count reading textbooks as reading, but when
the fuck am I doing that? I'm just absorbing the knowledge through osmosis. I'm not fucking reading.
No. I would say when I say reading, I mean reading for fun, not reading because not the act of reading. If you know what I mean.
That's true.
The last time I did that
different things
was reading for fun. I think was summer of junior year or senior year where I read Ready Player One. That's so long ago.
Damn.
There's a movie about that.
Yeah, I know, but that was before the film came out. It was one of the books that was on the summer reading list.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to read one of the books, so I was like, okay, I'll read this one. And then, yeah.
Can't remember, did I actually read those books? I probably didn't.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
I just fucking bullshitted it, whatever.
Yeah, I'm probably bullshitted. I may have read... Nah, I'm pretty sure I don't. I'm not going to give myself any credit for that. I probably didn't.
No, it was hilarious. So, senior year after you finish your fucking APs, it was hilarious because so like Boom, he would like not read any of the AP Lit stuff anymore, like starting from winter
calling out
term.
people now.
Yeah, I am, because
Fucking
it was
exposed.
fucking hilarious. Like what happened was he would not read any of the material. He would not even like bother to go on fucking what's it called, like the website that like shortens the books for you.
Spark Notes.
Spark Notes, exactly.
Notes.
So he wouldn't even go read fucking Spark Notes on the books. He would just show up to class, not have any idea what's going on, and then every time Mr. Foot called on him, he would just be like, I don't know. And it was like fucking hilarious. All right, but I would like basically, I didn't do any of the reading in AP Lit, but like I at least went on Spark Notes every time. And then Mr. Foot like didn't realize, like it's like the final project after the AP like exam was like we had to read a book and give a presentation on the book. I literally fucking read the Spark Notes, and I was like, and then Mr. Foot like actually thought I read the book. Apparently, a lot of people in my class actually read it.
I'm pretty sure that's par for the course.
Yeah, but like, Boom, he still likes some book, and he doesn't fucking do the Spark Notes or anything on it. I don't even know. Like, he probably didn't even know the fucking author's name or whatever. Like, holy fuck, he just did not give a shit about
skip class
about that
at
class
that
anymore.
point. Actually, wait. Remember the days when we like you couldn't just skip class? Remember pre-college when you couldn't just skip things?
I didn't skip things, so
I didn't skip
high
things,
school.
but like, dude, in college,
I've skipped much more in college. Yeah.
All my fucking college classmates just skip classes, like whatever. They don't give a shit.
I can't skip classes. I feel like I learn way better in class than
Yeah,
like
same.
outside of class. If I skip, I wouldn't be able to catch up. So I can't
I
skip.
only skip classes when I really don't give a shit about the class, and then at that point,
Right,
it
like if I
basically
don't care
means
at all, then
it basically means I've given up on the grade for that class. Like, it's happened a few times. Like,
A few times.
yeah, I mean, you know, it happens.
do you guys want to talk about our experiences with the podcast?
Yes.
Or you know,
What,
what
this
kind of podcasts
podcast?
we listen to? No,
No,
like
no, no.
what other podcasts we listen to in our daily lives.
All right. Mike, you want to start us off then?
Mine's kind of long, so you guys can go first. I feel like I've been talking for a while.
Okay.
Sure. I can. Okay. I watched. Let's see. I watched a few. The main one that I think that I keep up with and watch is this podcast called "And the Writer Is," which is basically like a podcast hosted by a songwriter that his name is Ross Golan. I'm sure you guys don't know who he is, but he's like pretty big. And then he like interviews another songwriter for like an hour. And usually episodes come out like bi-weekly or maybe like every month. Like something like that.
Bi-weekly, by once every 2
Like
weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
my-
then sorry.
Yeah.
And then other than that,
Definitely cut
sometimes
that part out.
Sometimes I watch the Offline TV podcast. But honestly I haven't seen a lot of the recent ones. So yeah, those two are the ones that I watch, or that I listen to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Skylar.
So,
right.
I don't actually watch any single podcast consistent. I guess maybe Trash Talk, but like that started so recently that so actually, funny story, viewers. That Trash Talk was, I think, the
Trash taste, you mean?
catalyst. Like, Trash Taste. Yeah, the one with Giga Sea Dog and Anime Man is what initially gave me the idea to do this. I kind of memed at it to Michael, and Michael was like, "We'll do it if Tiger does it." And then I just asked Tiger, and Tiger said yes, and here we are. But yeah, actually, before we started recording this episode, I was halfway through episode 5 of Trash Taste, and then the only other podcast.
What is that podcast about? Sorry.
So those are 3 anime YouTubers, and they basically
I see.
shitpost about anime.
I see.
No, actually, they generally do stuff that's not related to anime in their podcast. Not
What?
only related to...
Well, it's
They talk about their general experiences. I think it's like... It's a lot
being
to do
an
with,
anime
like,
YouTuber, yeah.
Anime YouTuber, yeah. Like, they don't actually
Yeah.
talk that much about anime itself. I would say.
Yeah, actually, yes, that's fair. The specific anime doesn't like come up a lot, but they talk a lot about being anime YouTubers. And I enjoyed that podcast. I also watch like clips of like Joe Rogan, but I usually don't watch the full length episodes unless I'm like really interested in like hearing what the guest has to say.
Yeah, same.
And that's just because I kind of find Joe Rogan as a person to listen to not very interesting. I think his talent is in drawing out the interesting part from his guest rather than
but that's
him being
like
interesting.
what he should do though.
Yeah, which is why his podcast is successful. It's just that's why I don't watch his episodes if I don't think the guest looks interesting.
He doesn't talk that much in his own like when he interviews a guest. Like
that's probably his greatest strength.
Most of the time, it's the guest that's speaking, and then he'll like ask questions and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I just remembered. I watched a little bit of the H3 podcast with what's his name, Ethan Klein, and then I started to get annoyed, and then like I didn't watch it, and then like a bunch of videos came out shitting on H3HD.
Yeah, honestly, I never thought like Ethan Klein from H3 is that like
funny, right?
To me, he always kind of felt like like he doesn't seem like a very nice person.
Yeah,
you know.
I see. I didn't. I always thought of him as kind of like a tack on to like the Max Mofo, Filthy Frank, iDubbbz kind of crowd. Like I've never really watched his stuff, so I never had like a grace period where I really enjoyed his content. So
I think like for Filthy Frank and iDubbbz, their work is mostly like they're like playing a character.
Yeah, like satire.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But like for I think H3, a lot of his is just like him talking about stuff, and it feels much more like a commentary show than anything else.
And he's just not very like. I mean, there are a bunch of videos out there breaking down why the podcast is bad and why Ethan's bad, but like, I don't know. I just didn't really vibe that well with it. I think I just listened to his voice and the opinions he has, and sometimes the way he treats people, and I'm like, I can comfortably skip on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll go. So I think my first experience with podcasts was actually with Beyond the Rift, which I don't know if Tiger remembers this, but
yes, I do remember Beyond the Rift.
Yeah,
that's the Cutie Pie one, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was with Cutie Pie and Skyra, and so like at the time when this was first like coming out was when Cutie Pie and Skyra were like probably two of my like 5 favorite content creators, just like in general, and they were like both really entertaining, and I loved like hearing them talk about shit. And this was like it's been like 4 or 5 years now, I think. And then they kind of just like stopped doing it. I don't quite know exactly what, but they were probably busy with other stuff and that kind of stuff. But when they stopped airing that series, like basically I started watching other league related podcasts, and I still watch like quite a few of them. And normally like it's easy for me to watch them while I'm doing something else. And it's a nice way for me to just like, I don't know, like I like watching competitive league, even though I don't like love playing league that much except for like with other people. But I actually do quite like watching it as like an esport. So I do watch like quite a few, or not quite a few, I should say. I watch them occasionally when I have time, and it's normally like I'll watch like the most recent one if I have like extra time. So like during the times I was like playing TFT, for example, I would just like watch podcasts while I'm playing TFT, because it's just easy for me. Like I don't know, like I it's like easy for me to digest the podcast, and then like I'm just playing TFT, and I don't really have that much else to be doing. Because like I can't play like another game while I'm playing TFT, right. But like I can watch a podcast. So I would
usually sorry.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no! I was gonna say since you brought up like where and when you listen to podcasts, I was wondering what usually Skylar does. Like, is it like when you're like passively doing something else, and then you're like listening to the podcast on the side, or are you like actively doing it? for Skylar? I'm curious.
Well, usually I run the podcast at more than 1 point speed. So I usually run it at like 1.5, 1.75 even.
Oh, really?
At that point,
Yeah.
I do pay attention, yeah.
Usually, I listen to podcasts when I'm like on the road, like if I'm like on a bus or something, and because these days or the last 2 years I've commuted a lot, like daily, like usually like 2 hours ish. So I could like basically fit into episodes of podcasts, and also because it's like kind of bad to listen to music on the bus because the bus is like really loud. So you can't really even like hear it. So you can, but like but podcasts do fine because yeah.
So
That's usually when I listen to podcasts.
If I could
when
come
I'm,
up with a
like,
way
on
to
the
like
road.
line up interesting podcasts and listen to them while I was doing things, then maybe. It's just like I basically browse YouTube, right? So like if I'm watching a podcast on YouTube, then I'll. There have been times where I maybe have something open off on the side and I'm doing something else. Usually what happens is I'll like passively sort of absorb like maybe 20-30% of the content of the actual podcast, and then the rest is just kind of like white noise and lost on me while I'm doing whatever the hell I'm doing.
Right.
But most of the time when I'm actually listening to a podcast, I'm trying to listen to what they're saying, in which case I usually run it faster.
Yeah, so normally, like, I talked a little bit about TFT, but like, so the ones I watched then were like Dom's podcast. So nowadays he runs 2, which are the Crackdown and Face Check, but I normally watch the one that's like not, or like more like about NALCS, which is Face Check, I think. And then I watched the Dive, which is like the Riot broadcast one. And I normally, what I do is like, I won't watch every episode. So like if there's like nothing, like I'm not doing, like if I'm busy that week or I'm doing like other stuff, like for example, like, you know, putting together like our podcast or like, you know, whatever, basically I'll just skip that week. And then I'm like, okay with skipping episodes. And then like at the time that I want to watch the podcast, I'll probably just like, you know, like if I'm farming on Pokemon or whatever, and then I just have my Switch open and I'm playing Pokemon, and I just like, okay, it's kind of boring to just play the Switch by itself, so I'll go listen to a podcast while I'm waiting, or not waiting, but like while I'm doing it in the background. There was a time when I was commuting to work, like last summer, I believe. It was last summer. I was commuting to work, and then I would listen to podcasts like on the BART basically. But that was also because like my commute was like fucking ages. It was like 2 hours more than 2 hours one way every day. So like I was like just always really bored during that time. So yeah, and then also just like Skylar, I did start recently watching the Trash Taste podcast, and it's good stuff. I really like it, and I mean, not much else to say, I guess.
Yeah.
End the episode. No, I'm kidding. So does anyone else have anything to say for any topic?
No, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Talked about everything.
Basically. Once again, feedback is always appreciated. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. This has been
for like the
Shitposting
three
with the
people
lads.
three
Episode
people that are
2.
listening.
Let me have this. God damn it! Why must you ruin my dreams?
Dude, it's 3 people listening, and 2 of them are Skylar.
Dude, we got fucking 30 views. Episode 1, dude.
That is
30
true.
views last
That is
time.
true.
We got 30 views last time.
Tell me
That's a
I'm
win.
wrong, dude.
It's a win.
It's 3 people, and 2 of them are Skylar.
And then the last
man
one
is-
is Skylar on like another account.
Yes,
This man is lucky.
It's like
I
his
can't
like
kick his
unlogged
ass.
in account.
His ass is in California. I can't kick it right now. But mark my words. He'll get his just desserts one day.
Oh, good. Well,
Signing
I mean,
off. 3, 2, 1.